A series of blood-chilling murders takes place in a snowy little town, somewhere in the Midwest, where people speak with funny accents, spending their evenings in pubs or at home in front of TV, cuddled under a warm blanket and radiating positive energy, even in the most complex and solvable circumstances. Marsh Gunderson, a police chief, gets a sudden call on one cold morning on behalf of those killings. After a short conversation on the phone, she hesitantly rises from bed and checks the time on her wristwatch, while her husband, whose dreams also gets interrupted by this unexpected event, goes to the kitchen to make them some breakfast. After having a meal, Marsh hurriedly puts on her uniform coat and takes off to the scene. Upon arriving at the place and having a quick examination, she easily comes up with a chronology of actions that led to the bloodshed.
Okay, so we got a trooper pull someone over, we got a shooting, these folks drive by, there's a high-speed pursuit, ends here, and then this execution type deal.
Yeah.
She inclines, makes a witty remark on the impressive size food of the possible killer.
And I tell you what, from his footprint, he looks like a big fella.
And suddenly feels unease.
It's just morning sickness.
And that is exactly where the audience is supposed to be clenching teeth, because Marsh Gunderson, the police chief in charge of investigating these murders, is a pregnant woman.
Mind if I sit down? Carrying quite a load here.
No, I guarantee this was an honest-to-goodness great...
Knowing what kind of fate humans usually have in this film, we fear that the same tragic outcome might await this sweet, kind person, who is now apart from her other positive attributes carrying a baby. This is what makes Fargo one of the best films that Coen brothers have ever made. The fascinating ability to play on viewers' nerves by creating the least predictable plot twist in such a simple story. Fargo doesn't even feel like a good versus evil tale. Its characters, though undoubtedly committing the worst crimes possible, deceiving each other and constantly quarreling one with another, still do not evoke the amount of disgust they're supposed to. Because after all, they are shown as human beings. Sometimes queer and funny, each with their own unique personality, traits, and principles. They don't make evil deeds for the sake of harm, but rather due to personal motivation.
The thing is, my wife, she's wealthy. Her dad, he's real well off. Now, I'm in a bit of trouble.
What kind of trouble you in, Jerry?
Well, I'm not gonna get into, see, I just need the money.
Jerry Lundegaard, one of the major characters who kicks off the chain of further outlandish events, is an extremely greedy, selfless individual. Yet he has a cozy house, caring wife and son, and even seemingly prospective occupation. He looks just like everyone else, ordinary family man, and still does everything that a normal person could wish for in a desperate pursuit of money.
Now, her dad, he's real well off.
So why don't you just ask him for the money?
Or your fucking wife, you know.
Or your fucking wife, Jerry.
His father-in-law Wade, though at first appears to be the most average father-in-law one could ever have, shows his true colors as the movie draws closer to the climax. He's so full of hubris and delusion that eventually costs him a life.
No, see...
Look, Jerry, you're not selling me a damn car. It's my show here. That's it.
And of course the bandits, neither of whom has anything decent to talk about. Little gnarly man Carl, with clear signs of the strong Napoleon syndrome.
You know, these are the limits of your life, man. Rule of your little fucking gate here. There's your $4, you pathetic piece of shit.
And his silent sociopathic associate, Geyer, for whom killing a human being is no different from stomping a bug. Almost all of the main characters in this movie are literal scum, except for Marsh Gunderson, the same very person who is tasked to catch them. She is embodying the sense of divine justice on this snow-wretched land. She is the mighty savior in the story. Her speech is quite straightforward.
Well, I'm a police officer from up Brainerd, investigating some malfeasance, and I was just wondering if you'd had any new vehicles stolen off the lot in the past couple of weeks.
Her demeanor is absolutely sincere. Her principles are pretty virtuous. She always supports her husband and loyal to him so much that she doesn't let her Japanese admirer from school years to drag her into flirting intercourse.
You mind if I sit over here? I was married to Linda Cooksey.
No, why don't you sit over there? I prefer that.
Huh? Oh.
Hence even Margie's colleagues treat her like a child, calling her by first name every time they address her.
Watch your step, Margie.
How you doing, Margie?
Her innocence is evident in every word and action. It becomes strikingly clear in comparison with the way other people behave. Jerry always talks in circles, stuttering and pausing, often unable to come across the point of his speech.
Yeah, but that true coat.
I sat right here and said I didn't want any true coat.
Yeah, but I'm saying that true coat, you don't get it, you get oxidation problems. It'll cost you a heck of a lot more than $500.
You're sitting there, you're talking in circles, you're talking like we didn't go over this already.
Being as sketchy and hypercritical as he is, one ought to be cautious with the choice of words. Therefore, he would rather skip the conversation than put himself in the position to say something directly.
No, but Wade, see, I was bringing you this deal for you to loan me the money to put in. It's my deal here, see?
Jerry, we thought you were bringing us an investment.
Yeah, right.
You're saying... What are you saying?
You're saying we put in all the money and you collect when it pays off.
Wade, on the other hand, is too proud of himself. He talks with utter confidence and acts in a very bold manner.
These guys are dangerous.
All the more reason. I don't want you... With all due respect, Jerry, I don't want you mucking this up.
The heck do you mean?
They want my money, they can deal with me.
Carl is a jerky, highly irritative and yapping too much, resembling the famous saying, style over substance. Frankly, thanks to it, he played out to be the funniest character in this universe.
I'm sitting here driving, doing all the driving, man. Whole fucking way from Brainerd, driving, just trying to chat. You know, keep our spirits up, fight the boredom of the road. And you can't say one fucking thing just in the way of conversation.
Now Geyer is the complete opposite. He's very reserved, composed, and terrifying in his silence. However, besides the apparent features of these characters, their complicated minds and tempers, their morals can also be explained by motives. As for instance, Carl didn't really need the money. What he really needed was a false sense of the manhood he lacked that this money bring him. He is sexually obsessed and highly resentful.
Well, what do you mean? You decided not to park here?
Yeah, I just came in. I decided not to park here, so...
But, well, I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, I decided not to, you know, I'm not, I decided not to take the trip, as it turns out, so...
Well, I'm sorry, sir. We still got to charge you the $4.
I just pulled in here.
The latter grows to the point where he even shoots a random ticket guy because of the unreasonable grudge he held from the previous interaction with the other collector.
Jeez.
His companion Geyer is quite the contrary. He doesn't have much of the motivation to kill and kidnap people. Neither does he enjoy doing that. What he actually likes is to solve issues. The faster, the better. And this approach ultimately leads him to his downfall. Jerry is the worst of them all because he plotted mischief against his own family member. Even Carl cannot contain his contempt about it during their first and last meeting at the bar.
I will say this, though. What Shep told us didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh no, it's real sound. It's all worked out.
You want your own wife kidnapped.
Yeah.
You...
After his wife gets kidnapped, he doesn't even bother comforting his son, who is obviously suffering and missing his mother.
Now, is Scotty gonna be all right?
Yeah, geez, Scotty.
Even his father-in-law cares more about himself than own daughter. Instead of giving out the money during the showdown with Carl, he deludes himself into trying to eliminate an enraged criminal.
Fucking imbeciles!
And in the end of it all, there is Margie, who cannot even fathom why somebody would kill someone for a little bit of money.
And those 3 people in Brainerd. And for what? For a little bit of money.
She lives by playing merits, her family life is 100 times happier than the one Jerry was having. She loves her job, and most importantly, she loves people.
Yeah,
Hey, they said they were going to the Twin Cities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, is that useful to you?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
In a world where almost everyone lost the most human trait, compassion, she served as the only hope for a better future in the dark, rotten reality of Fargo. Another aspect of the movie that is so obvious yet isn't discussed as much is its violence.
Shut the fuck up!
It's not as brutal as Master Tarantino likes to paint it. Nor it is dark and heavily dramatized as in Godfather.
Satan.
Nor Taxi Driver. But those few scenes, like the duel between Carl and Wade or the kidnapping of Jerry's wife, are definitely engraved in your memory since the first watch. And largely so, because they are raw and very down to earth.
Unguent.
What?
I need unguent.
Coens displayed violence in a great portion of their movies, yet it doesn't rub the audience as an aesthetic element, but rather as an irreplaceable part of the narrative.
Call it.
Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men doesn't radiate a bit of satisfaction during all the shootouts, killings, explosions, and other sort of atrocities he commits. It serves the purpose for him, but not the eventual purpose itself.
Are you going to shoot me?
That depends. Do you see me?
He deems himself as a very principled and just murderer. Thus, violence for him is nothing but the mere method to make justice.
Oh, no, you don't understand. You can't make a deal with him. Even if you gave him the money back, he'd still kill you just for inconveniencing him. He's a peculiar man. You might even say he has principles that transcend money or drugs or anything like that.
In Fargo, everything is much simpler. Murders take place not to trigger the main action, but to play the role of imminent consequences. That's why, regardless of walking on the blade of a razor, the entire time, Margie succeeds in the outcome. She's a positive character, a sheer protagonist one would want to root for, and unlike Chigurh's obliterated perception of what is just, Margie's justice is real. Garrett gets imprisoned as well as on the guard.
Bill, wait! No!
Two of the worst individuals out of all, each gruesome in his way, get caught by police, the very representatives of law and order. But how many people had to die before that? And if the end of Carl or Wade's life bears reasons, what can be said of Lundegar's wife? The only person who suffers the whole length of the story gets so abruptly and cruelly set off the screen. She didn't die while trying to escape from her torturers, but got killed for having the most natural reaction one can have for getting kidnapped in the broad daylight. She's been just crying too much.
Fuck happened to her?
She started shrieking, you know.
And that's the violence of the real world. Sometimes maniacs don't kill for joy. Oftentimes, a person's death occurs in a very logical circumstances. Violence in Fargo doesn't stand out by itself. It is an essential part of the story. That's why it is devoid of poetic or aesthetic meaning if observed separately from the film. There is no cause nor an idea. For Coens, it's a tool of narration.
Whoa, Daddy.
If you have watched Fargo before, don't let the plain satirical appeal of this movie fool you. I find more layers and details rewatching it every year. It is an outstanding work of immense depth that teaches valuable lessons in a very straight manner. Like in other Coens films, every action leads to consequences. Every word has the capacity to become fatal. And regardless of how obscure human nature can be, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. There is always justice.